Oh, check out these sling handles from HMI Interiors. That's Heath Moore Interiors out of Texas. He calls them something slightly different, but with the last unboxing video, it didn't go as far as I thought it should have with this amazing product. So I decided to call them sling handles in my videos. You're going to want to check out his website. But I wanted to show you what they look like installed, or the way that I installed them, being the first time. One thing I would like to say, it would be nice if there was some instructions in there. So you're going to want to make sure you're a bit of a fabricator before you take on a project like this. But if you are skilled in the trade of fabrication and you do upholstery for a living, I think it's something that you can handle. Just make sure you have a few hours dedicated to the install process. So what I decided to do is actually do a cut-in with the door being so flat on these Bel-Airs. Most of the time, even the old factory ones where they had the door handles built in, they only came out about as far as this sling bracket. So I wanted to keep it nice and tight to the door, even though I am doing a stack fab type interior and I'm building it out a bit, basically modernizing the 57. But with this here, I'm going to say in total you need about 3/4 on the back side if you're building this out, and you're going to need another 1/2 inch on the front side. So in total, you're going to need about 1.25 inches from front to back to make sure that this can slide. And that's between the back side of the door panel and the front side of the panel that you have. Now, if you have the space and you can put the whole bracket on the outside of the door panel, like I said, with this install process, I needed to sink it into the door to keep that flat look. Now, some of the things, like I said, that I really like is the tension on here. One of the questions I had a lot is, safety concerns and stuff like that. And that was even a question that I had is, is this going to be safe for my client? And so what I did is, after the install process, I had a friend come over with a bow and arrow pull. And what that does is it measures how much pull is actually on the handle. So without this being hooked to the door, which is going to add another 2 to 3 pounds of pressure, it had, in the very front stage right about here, it's got about 5 to 7 pounds of pressure. And towards the back, it has about 12 to 15 pounds of pressure. And I think that's pretty solid. As far as a pull, this is something that's definitely going to have to be intentional to open the door, and that's what I wanted to make sure was going to happen. Now, another thing that I did is I flipped the panel around, I think. Like I said, there were no instructions, so I wasn't sure which way it went, but in my mind, I wanted the door pull to go back towards the back of the car, and the reason for that is if a kid was in the back seat, a grandchild, and they reach to their front seat and they put their arm on the handle, I want to make sure that the door is not going to malfunction and open. Another thing is, if you're riding in the front seat, if you happen to jolt yourself, you hit the brakes real hard and you come to a sliding stop, you're going to slide forward and it's not going to open the door. And that would be one of the recommendations that I would have, is a very basic instructions. Because I understand that this isn't going to install the same way from vehicle to vehicle to vehicle, and it's easy to critique somebody else's design. I gotta say, I love the functionality of it. I like the way it installs. I like the strength, overall build design of it. All the pieces seem to function well together, but I would say that I don't believe these were made in a jig. So I've had to do a little bit of adjusting from one side to the other. If these were made in a jig, I think it'd be just a little bit better. So that's a small recommendation, but I gotta say, I'm thoroughly happy with these. I think I will definitely use these in the future. But if you want to see a little further in the process, we're gonna have to move to the other side and I can show you. So on this door, we're a little further along with the design process and install process. I wanted to show you before I got too far advanced where I couldn't take it apart. Right now, everything's kind of double sticky taped on the door, just so I can show you how it functions and what some of my ideas were behind the process that I went through. So of course, you're gonna have the pullback of the sling handle right there. That's gonna activate and open the door. Now it's gonna be mounted with 2 screws through here, which will be the L bracket of the main template. This is actually gonna come off. I don't have it mounted right now, which gave me the ability to put 2 screws that are hidden in the door, holding the mid part of the door on. Like you seen on the other door over there, it is pop riveted into place, so there's plenty of pull here. I can pull, tug, everything but stand on it because it is aluminum, but it's very well designed. I got a little channel that I've chamfered into the PVC board here, and it allows this to go all the way back, and it gives it a stop not to overextend it or over pull anything, break anything possibly. And then, like I said, I have these 2 little screws here. Now I'm going to go ahead and take these out.
I'll show you behind, there we go, show you behind this panel as well. There we go. Whoop. And this just is, like I said, just kind of on there. I'm hoping not to take all the panels. I want to leave that up there. There we go. That's to just slide out.
It tucks under here, and then there's a cover plate that locks all these in place that finishes these edges. I'll set that up there. But I just wanted to show you the behind paneling, what it looks like. So my regular template here, which is the Alumicore board, is cut out, and it has all the variants and flex in it to cover the main L bracket here, allowing the L bracket to move in place, and it takes up the allowance. So when I put the other piece on it, the finishing panel, it kind of floats over the L bracket here, allowing it to move back and forth. And then this piece is really just to fill the gap. Once again, I wanted to keep this door panel on the flatter side. Another way that you could have done this would be mount all of this on the faceplate if you had like a Chevy truck or something like that where the door panels normally stick out a bit further anyway. You'd have plenty of space to hide it behind some of the other design features that you would have. Once again, I'm very happy with this product. The function of it, it works exactly how described, how I've seen in the videos. Cosmetically, the door panel is very pleasing because there are no switches. Let me put this back together for you. There are no switches on this door panel. No window cranks, no buttons, no door pulls. It's just a very clean design. I'm not going to put the screws in it right now, but it gives you the idea of what I'm going for, what you're going to see when it's all finished, and it gives you a little bit to look forward to in the 57 build. Come back and check out that video.